Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show, where we help you make the wisest and most profitable decisions. My name is Dr. Gleb Tsipursky. I'm the CEO of Disaster Avoidance Experts, the future of work consultancy that sponsors the Wise Decision Maker Show. And today with me is Marco. Marco, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your company does?
Of course, thank you for having me. So my name is Marco Costa. I am the CEO of Exclaimer. Exclaimer is a signature management company. What is that, you might ask? So all of us send emails, and those emails have a signature on the bottom. Many companies today still ask their employees to change that signature, to promote a new event, to invite people for a webinar. We solve that problem. We make sure that IT or marketing can centrally manage that real estate, the signature real estate. So whenever it's in an email, from any device it's in an email, it's always the right information targeted to the right audience, and you can actually measure the impact of that. So in a way, we transform the email signature in a new marketing channel, making sure it's all promoting the right campaigns, collect the right feedback, customer engagement, share the latest news, and it's always on brand.
Excellent. Now, your company is remote first. Tell me a little bit about that. What does that involve? How is it different than companies that are not remote first?
Yeah, so to start with, the company was not remote at all until COVID hit. And then all of a sudden, we had COVID, we had to do something about it, and we start creating all the cadences, all the processes, all the infrastructure to support our remote employees. We are a global company, but being a global company with offices in US, Europe, Australia, Singapore, is not the same as being remote first. So you have to make sure you build the right infrastructure so no one is left behind. Everybody understands where we're going, the vision, the strategy for the company. Everybody understands their contribution, and they have a safe infrastructure where they can feel they can actually contribute to the business, but at the same time keep developing their career. So there's a lot of systems involved, a lot of process, and a lot of communication.
Excellent. Yeah, let's dive deeper into that. So tell me a little bit about that transition. Obviously, a lot of companies were in your shoes, having to make the transition. A lot of companies clearly have not succeeded nearly as much as you do, because right now they're trying to get all of their workers back to the office. What have you done right that have enabled your company to succeed where some others haven't?
I have to say that is a mix of being full remote and having a concept of hubs. So I'm a strong believer in face-to-face interactions, but I'm a strong believer of you have to make it work every day. So then in a global environment, so then when you have people face-to-face, they are face-to-face doing things that can benefit being face-to-face. And also the first challenge you have is culture, especially when we are growing so much as we are, takes a toll on us, takes a toll on me. So one of the things we have to do is over-communicate. This means I am on board every employee on the business. I do every other week, depends on the velocity we are hiring. I get the employees and I go walk them through the strategy. This is what we're here to do. This is our vision. This is our mission. This is our values. This is why we are doing what we do in this term of strategy. So that's one, just like people understand the big picture. But then there's something you have to do so that employees can connect the big picture with what they are doing on a day-to-day basis, how they are set up for success. And so the next thing we have to do is actually use all the moments to communicate again and talk to people. And we do skip a level. We go one level below, talk to people, understand. Do you understand the strategy? Do you have any questions? And then we bring people together on a quarterly basis. So we do in-person QBRs. We fly people from all over the place, the management team, and we spend together a few days making sure we are aligned, making sure the things we said 1 quarter ago you're going to do actually happened, or if not happened, why, what were the learnings, and then we can plan together the next quarter. So it's a bit of a blend of being every day in remote calls, but then pick the moments that matter, so for us to be face-to-face and actually make the most out of those moments. And again, technology plays a big role here. The digital tools we have to use and writing down a lot of what we do is really important to get the company going.
That's admirable that you onboard everyone who is coming in, and I'm sure that takes a lot of work. How did you make that commitment? How did you figure out that that was something that you needed to do? Why don't you leave that to your HR team, to your managers?
So it goes back to the culture we're trying to build here as a business. So Exclaimer has been around for a long time. I joined the company 2 years ago, and my goal is to scale the business, is to build infrastructure for the company to continue to grow in a sustainable way. I can't do that. People don't understand where we're trying to go. I'm not telling them how to do their jobs. We hire people that are better than me and their jobs. That's fine. That's how it should be. But if they don't know where the company is going, how can they really adapt and make decisions on a day-to-day basis? We cannot push decisions down unless people know where we're trying to go, and then see on their own OKRs. Oh, I understand why I have this OKR, because it's linked back to that discussion that I had with Marco with that specific goal the company has. So I think it's a good usage of my time. We do that onboarding, but then eventually we hope that people can make better decisions when they do their business.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. Right. I mean, I've helped by now over 2,000 companies figure out their flexible work schedule. And one of the big challenges is that managers that may not know how to manage effectively in the flexible work schedule, in that remote work schedule. And I'm curious what you're doing to solve that problem, because you didn't start as a remote first company. There are a number of companies that build up that culture from being remote first. You made that change as part of the pandemic, as so many companies did, but unlike a number of companies, you stayed with that. So how did you solve the problem of managers not being trained to lead remote teams? What did you do to solve that?
I would say it's not solved. It's a work in progress. We always have to accept that we can do better. But there's a few things we have to do. So I would say first is explain people, the managers, the importance of one-on-ones. Taking the time and spend time with each of their direct reports every week. And that moment, that quality moment, will help them having a sense of, okay, is this person set up for success? Is this person struggling? And sometimes you don't see that. If you have a call with 5-6 people, sometimes people is more engaged than others, but the moment the call is over, it's over. Back on the days when we're having those meetings in person, the meeting ends, and then almost another meeting starts, which is walking back. Oh, let's get a coffee, let's chat.
Yeah.
Those moments are gone. So you have to create those moments, and the one-to-ones are very, very important. That's number one. Number two, I would say, is keep a level. Go one level below and talk to people and get them to share with you what sometimes they don't really share with direct managers, and get a sense of the teams there. We also do quarterly survey to people to basically check the engagement levels, and you have to act on it. You really have to make decisions, get back to the day-to-day and act on it. And finally, you have the system. So we use Slack a lot. We have the right channels. We have a lot of town halls. Every month we do a town hall. Every other week we do a quick check. So all those meetings, we have Slido open. People can ask any questions. It's kind of as long as, to be honest, as long as they are logged in and we can see who's asking the question, we answer any question that comes. So it's a culture of openness that allow people to feel engaged. Then different teams have different cadences. So the engineering team, they are very used to do the agile ceremonies, or the weekly calls where they can check progress. Other teams work in Kanban. So different teams have different technology, but it's all very documented so people can consult offline. So combining the culture element, the communication element, and then finally the team dynamic is working for us.
No, that's excellent. I mean, I can tell you, I mean, these one-on-ones are so important, and it's so hard to get managers to do them. I mean, like I said, I've over 2,000 companies. I really struggle. This is one of the big challenges. Managers always complain that it takes so much time, but it's so worth it, and it cuts down on so many problems and concerns and conflicts going forward. The other element, and I'm not sure you might already do this, is that the one-on-ones are a great time for a performance evaluation check. So what I do is, for companies that I helped make this transition, I tell them that, okay, at the one-on-one, whether you have it weekly or every 2 weeks, what you really want to do is you want to have the manager and the team member select together 3 to 5 goals tied to the broader OKRs to do until the next one-on-one. So those for another week, for 2 weeks, that are going to be tied to the OKRs. And then at the next one-on-one, you check on how well the team member did on those 3 to 5 goals, coach them on problem solving better, then maybe give them an evaluation for their performance, and then choose 3 to 5 goals for the next week. So that ties performance evaluation, which is something a big concern that managers have, and it helps them see, okay, these people are actually performing their jobs during this period. I don't have to worry so much about not seeing them work, and the management by walking around, they don't have to worry so much about that. So what do you do about performance evaluation?
Well, that's a great point, by the way. And we introduced OKRs 1 year ago, so it's not the end of the first year. I have to say it helped. Was it 100% successful? I cannot say that. So there's always challenges the first time we do it, and people start learning, defining the right OKRs, and have questions. Can I change my OKRs? Yeah, you can if it makes sense. Of course you can. But it's answering those questions that can get people to understand a bit better, using OKR as a tool, not as something they have to do to check something the company wants to do. So we are now improving that process as we speak. We are about to roll out. We have a new system. We deploy a new tool that connects the weekly one-on-ones with the goals, and we are now exactly doing what you suggested, where it's going to, which is getting the big OKRs cascade into department OKRs, cascade into departments or individual OKRs, and get those OKRs available when you do one-on-one. So technology helps a lot here. It doesn't solve the problem. You have to have the process, but right now it will be the same tool. They do the one-on-ones. They have the OKRs there. They can pick them. And now what HR is focusing on is training the managers on how to use those tools.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing process, but we do believe that those one-on-ones need to have some content, and bringing the OKRs into the mix, into the discussion, absolutely is where we're going. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's all I meant. I will send you my Fortune article about that. I think that might be helpful. Good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're really looking forward to the future. What do you, as we finish up the conversation, what do you envision as the future of remote work at Exclaimer? And clearly you're already doing something. So tell me a little bit about the things that you're doing to further improve remote work besides this alignment of OKRs with that one-on-one conversations.
I think there is a point in time where I do believe that some teams, some specific functions could benefit from an hybrid working mode. So I'm invested in giving people the opportunity to have all the tools, all the systems, all the processes to work remote, but at the same time give them a physical location where they can go and meet their peers.
Yeah.
And I think my concern is not so much about the company productivity on a day-to-day basis. I think there's a level of innovation, there's a level of collaboration that can be accelerated if we can get people together, offer them the option to be together 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 2 days every other week, whatever. But this is an investment that comes from us, which is we have to go back and say we are a global company, there's people all over the place. But there are certain hubs that make sense for us. London is a hub. We have a lot of people here. Netherlands, we have a hub there. Germany, another one. Australia, another one. So our direction is going to be investing on giving people either access to where we work or a small office. We say, guys, you have all the tools, you have all the systems, you have all the processes, because we are a global company, you always be a global company. But you know what? If you can benefit from being with your local team, for instance, the German team being together a few days a week, we are supporting that investment so we can feel attached also to the global remote things we do, but the local team and peers, and get together with them. So we are investing on that direction of combining the global with the local, and give that sense of belonging, and hopefully get some innovation out of those local moments.
So I'm curious, have you introduced some techniques that facilitate belonging on a remote level, because that's really important to have that connection. So one of the techniques that I find really useful in the clients I help is called virtual co-working, where teams dial into a video conference call, Zoom or whatnot, Microsoft Teams, and then they just work on their individual tasks. They turn off their microphones, they leave their speakers on, their video is optional, and then they just work on their individual tasks, but they have an opportunity to ask for help from some of their team members or to chat about something that's going on. And so that's kind of an hour a day activity that they do. And during that time, it's especially helpful for junior team members to onboard, integrate, ask questions, but also for senior team members who are working on a task that might have relevance to their team members. They want to pick their brains. That's a really useful activity for collaboration that helps teams both solve problems, onboard junior team members, and create team belonging. I'm curious if you do anything like that.
So that is from a company overall initiative, no, to be honest. But I know that some teams are doing that. I know that some, for instance, engineering team, that sometimes they are just working together. They have Teams on, they have Slack on, and they can cooperate and support themselves. But I can say that's something we have tried to do across the board as a team. But I'll take the idea. I might see that from you.
Excellent. Yeah, I have an article about that. I'll send it to you. Good. Well, this was really a lovely conversation. Thank you very much for sharing your expertise, Marco.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. And thank you to the audience for checking out another episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you checked out the show and leave a review. It helps others discover the show, and it helps us improve the show. All right, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show. And in the meantime, the wisest and most profitable decisions to you, my friends.